Hello, Sharon. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. I was hoping to have a bigger crowd for this, but I think a lot of people were afraid. But as we always open, we thank the City of Wilder for allowing us to use the facility here. Richard is not here this evening to read our minutes, so everybody will just have to think about what happened last month. Glenn, you want to do a treasurer's report, though?
We opened the month with $9,168.74. Had 132 renewals, 5 life members, and 1 business member. Had $284 in donations, $200 in donations for the essay contest. It's over $175.20 in publications. And the net income was $3,112.71. We bought mailing supplies, and bought supplies for the newsletter, paid the copier lease payment and the charges. Bought a $25 ad from St. Peter and St. Paul's tournament that goes on this month, and then we paid State of Kentucky our $50 in sales tax on our publication sales. So our expenses were $608.90. Ending balance $11,672.55.
Okay, membership is about 230 at this point in the year. We're still getting new renewals in, so I don't have an exact number. The next newsletter will be out. It'll be the May issue. It'll be out at the end of April. Anybody that would want to send me anything, get it to me by the 1st of April. And we'll hopefully get it in for you. But we also have the essay contest. So there will be at least 2 essays, winning essays, that we always publish the students' essays. But send me articles. I can help you with them if you need help. Genealogy, history, anything we'll take. Okay. We have some communications. We got a volunteer. Paula Collins has volunteered to contact the members, our life members, maybe yearly, to just do an update with them. Because since they don't pay dues every year, we don't get a little card for them. So, a little renewal application. So we kind of don't know what their status is. And we just found out that one of our life members passed away way back in March of last year. So if you all hear that any of our members passes away, please let us know. Or moves, yeah, she's going to start calling the life members. Now, if any of you here are life members, and I know that I took the people that I know off. So she won't be calling every single life member, because I know where a lot of our life members live. I know they're still there. They talk to me, so I didn't put them on that list that she's going to call. But it'll just keep us a little more up to date with our members, which is one thing we're going to do tonight later. We also got a request. We have a group of ladies and gentlemen who call to give a reminder for our meetings. One of the ladies that we call said she would maybe like to attend more often, but she can't drive at night. Her name is Ethel Hitch. I don't know if anyone knows her. I don't. She lives on Pleasant Ridge in Alexandria. So if anybody lives near there or comes by there and would like to, we'll give you her information if you'd want to give her a ride sometime. That's all I've got in that. And then, oh yeah, the Main Street business group in Alexandria is going to have a block party on May the 11th. It's the day before Mother's Day. It's a Saturday. They're trying to get any Alexandria business to come and set up a booth. They're going to try to have bands. They're going to have a kid zone. They're going to have food booths, drink booths, and the businesses will set up, and some will be selling whatever it is that they sell. It's going to be on Washington Street in Alexandria, right at the end of the street where it connects with Main Street. So we're right around the corner. They can't block off Main Street because it's a state road. So that's why they're just going to do it on that little section of Washington. If you've ever been to the A.J. Jolly's event that they have in the summer, where they have bands and booths and things, it's going to be kind of like that, only on a smaller scale. So we'll be announcing information about that as that date draws nearer. We'll probably set up a booth, and we may direct people to the courthouse if they want to purchase any of our publications, or we might even have a yard sale out in front. We don't know yet. So that's the information there. I came across an interesting post on a Facebook page. Being it's Black History Month, there was a map that was put out there by the Kentucky Genealogical Society. And I thought it was really interesting. So, give me one. Steve's going to pass these out. I don't think there's enough for
There's
everybody.
not enough for everybody, but if you could share.
And somewhere in the translation between me and Steve, the eastern part of the state got cut off, so I'm very sorry. This map is from 1861, and it shows the percentage of people who were enslaved in Kentucky counties as they compiled it from the census in 1860. Some of you may have seen it out there, but I thought it was interesting. I always knew that Campbell County didn't have a lot of people who were slaves. And this kind of proves it out. Only 2 or 3 other counties had a lower percentage of enslaved people than here in Campbell County. Ours was 0.6% of the population. And the only other ones were Jackson and Johnson, who had lower. And then if Wolfe County appears on here, it might, oh yes, Wolfe does. It's over on the right side of your map. They didn't put a percentage in for Wolfe County. So I don't know if that means they had 0 or if it was just left off. There's another inaccuracy in this map. If you'll notice, there is no Carroll County. Gallatin looks bigger than it really was, and Trimble is bigger. So Carroll was between the two. And whoever did this map left off Carroll County because it was in existence. Carroll County was created in 1838. So it was definitely in existence in 1860, but they left it off. And if you're looking for certain counties, who knows how many counties are in Kentucky?
120.
Yeah, I knew you would know. There are 120 counties now, but there weren't always. Our counties were formed gradually. But there's a few that weren't created until after 1860. So they don't appear on here at all. They were pieced out of other counties. So that would change things, but
What was the first county?
the first county was Kentucky County, wasn't it?
County of Virginia.
It was part, when we were part of Virginia. Huh, I'm glad I read that. Oh, yes, they misspelled Kenton County.
Yes.
It's spelled Benton County. So apparently whoever did this couldn't, maybe took it off of the census records or some other map and thought that K was a B.
Did they give sources? Where
Yeah,
they got
the
that
source-
information?
The source is from Edwin Hergeshmeyer was the author of this map, I guess. Henry S. Graham from Washington, D.C. was the publisher. David Rumsey Map Collection from the David Rumsey Map Center in Stanford Libraries.
And it looks like they did more states other than.
Yes,
ours.
they did other states, yeah, around us. So, any questions? Just a little something for Black History Month.
Well, we don't have any early essays yet. The due date is next week, so you won't hear about it until next month. So we'll see how that goes. As far as the Veterans Collection, if you're here every month, you hear me or read the minutes at some point, you know that we are adding almost 100 veterans a month to our collection. And we're getting packed. I've run out of binders. And that doesn't mean we're not going to buy some binders, but I'm going to ask if anybody has 2.5-inch black binders they wouldn't mind parting with. We would appreciate having, even if it's just 1 or 2, it'd be great, because we are, some of these books are so full we have to split them up, and we just keep adding and adding and adding. So that's my appeal. And on that note, we had 96 veterans added to the collection, making 15,116. 40 of those veterans came from Alexandria Cemetery.
Thank you, Patty.
Lots of work those 2 women are doing.
There's an idea that's been running around in my head for quite some time. And then last year, Charlie Wimmers gave me a sheet that his mother put together in 1970. Do you remember Bellevue when? And this is 3 pages, and she went up and down Fairfield Avenue and started naming all the businesses that were on Fairfield Avenue in 1970. And if she remembered that there was something else there prior to that, then, she put that here. She has little stories in here. That's where we went ice skating. That's where we did this. That's where we did that. And I thought, that is such a neat thing to have. How can we get this out to people and make this something that people want to see? And my thought is for us to do some kind of, I'm calling it a tour. I don't know that it's going to be a tour, but a video or something that we can put on our website, on our Facebook page, that people can access. And I have a list of about 60 different topics that we could possibly do. You guys could probably add 3 times as many to this that we can do. Don't be afraid of that. I'm looking for people to help that can do a number of different things. There's going to be research that has to be taken care of. I want to do interviews with people that remember those things. Let's go out and video them and do an interview so that we can add that to this documentary type thing. Somebody has to write the script. Somebody has to, if we do like a self-guided tour, somebody has to write the route, how to send people there and tell them the story. We have to get permissions if it's private property, okay? We have to get people to say it's okay. Somebody to do the videography, somebody to collect photographs of those things so that we can put them in there. There's a whole lot of things that need to be done, but if everybody steps in and does just a little piece of it, we can get the whole thing together. So I don't know if anybody would be interested. It's a nice way for you folks to get involved with the Historical Society. Here's some sign-up sheets, if anybody's interested.
Look at it.
Some of those interviews can be interviews of you. Okay, you may have the stories of Bellevue or Dayton or Alexandria. Ken is learning so much about Alexandria,
Grant's
or
left.
Grants Lick, I mean, with all that he's doing down there.
Andrea's next.
He is, it's incredible how many things he's finding out about that.
Overwhelmed.
He's on, what, chapter 13 of your book now?
14 right now, yeah.
Okay? It's amazing, and you guys have all that information too. Okay? Share it with us, and we can help you, okay? If you say, I don't know how to get started, call me, and we'll sit down and we'll find a way to start working through it. But just let me know if you're interested, and if you'd like to be a part of that. Get your name in lights on them. Okay? Here's some list of, I guess I can share these as well. Here's some of the topics I've come up with. Need another one down there. And if you know somebody else that might be willing to help with that, let me know, okay? The only thing I have on news is, I talked last month about the Showboat Majestic, kind of in bad shape. Anybody see the pictures of Delta Queen? It's down in New Orleans. It's in pretty pitiful shape too. Although next month we have Captain Don Sanders coming to talk to us, who was the captain of the Delta Queen for a while. And I sent him the pictures, and he said there's nothing that a good shipyard can't fix on that. I said that and a bunch of millions of dollars. So if I learn any more, I'll send some pictures along. But a friend of mine had a friend that lives down there, and he walked by and took some pictures, I think from like the middle of January. And it's just looking pretty sad. Needs a heck of a paint job, and I understand the holes rusting on it, so it's kind of sad. Okay, with that, I'm gonna turn the
You
meeting.
want to do this first?
Oh, sure, Jan wants to do her door prize. And I always forget.
In case you want to volunteer for that project, just pass it on.
There it is.
Number 935493. Oh, all right.
That's all we'll get.
This month, we have, this is like the last copy of our Hayfield Precinct book before we did a new version. So we sell the new version, but I thought we'd give this one out. The pictures in it are all there, but if you want to see them even better, you would buy the new one.
Hayfield is 4 miles.
Yeah, we have another map, another genealogy chart that we gave out last month. We're giving another one away, and I will help fill it in for you if you have your genealogy done. Yes, with my calligraphy, I do. We're going to start probably selling a few of these at History Day, so You're lucky we're getting one free.
Okay, I'm gonna turn this over to you guys now.
There you go.
Okay. My name is Patty Riddle. I work on the cemetery projects. But I have to give a shout out to my two colleagues who don't come to these meetings, and that's Carrie Kavanaugh and Marcia Barbian. They also work very hard on it. Carrie is still a worker. She's not retired, so she has a full-time job and a family. And of course, Marcia, she's retired and I am, so we seem to do a lot more than her, but I want to give a shout out to those folks. Now to get on with the program of old things, and it's not about us, it's about these things. This is a Shell Pen motor oil bottle. This is how you used to buy your motor oil. And it's a full liter. The writing on it is very clear. I cannot find a date. It was given to me back in the 70s. The story behind it is in 1978, I bought a house. I lived in the house. It was by myself. It's a little cottage. It's up on Lincoln Road in Dayton. And I was called into work one day. And I got called into work, and when I came home, my house was robbed. And they had gone through the flour can and made flour all over the house and everything. I had put multiple coins in here. This is where you dump all your extra change, right? Thank heavens. They took all the coins and left my bottle. So that's the good story behind this little bottle here. So if you want to look at it, you can come up and look at it, or should I pass it around?
No, I leave it up here.
Okay. Then I have, no, I guess not, it's a bottle. Then I have this here, and it's a little bitty magnifying glass, and as you read on it, it says a Northwest Paper Company, paper maker since 1898. I know I got it at a yard sale. On the back of it, it says Germany, and I have used it multiple times. I never can seem to get the thing open. But apparently, Steve says they think that they proofread. If you look through
I
this,
think they read the type, when they used to set type, they would set the type to make sure the typeface was still good.
well, anyway, if you have something real tiny, like I found a picture I showed to Jan the other day. It was from way back in the 1800s of this lady sitting in a stoop of a house in Clairville, or near Clairville, and I found out who she was, by the way, and you could actually put this over her face and see a good picture of her face. And that picture of her face is like 1/16 of an inch. So I can pass this around, and you can pass it around. I'll just keep the container.
Well, we're going to tell you a story about how we met, fell in love, and married as a consequence of Campbell County history and genealogy. First of all, I'm John Drock. I grew up in Bellevue and Dayton, and a little later in Fort Thomas, and consequently native Campbell County, although I've been gone from Campbell County for many, many years. Currently, Susan and I live in Kenton County in Taylorville. Prior to that, I was on the faculty of the University of Michigan for about 45 years, but I'm here now.
And I'm Susan Brondrock. I grew up in Southgate and
Could you step a little closer to the mic? I can't hear you. Thank you.
Okay. I grew up in Southgate and Alexandria. I can even hear me now. And I have been a registered nurse for about 30 plus years, retired now. And very interested in genealogy. My family was always interested on my mother's side. My dad's side, nobody was interested at all. And he kind of thought it would be fun to know who was in his family. So that leads to this story.
A number of years ago, I posted a picture in Bellevue at the corner intersection of Walnut and Taylor Avenues that had my granddad, Ed Braun, in it. And a number of weeks or days or some other time later, Susan, far, far away, because I was in Michigan at the time, saw that picture and
I got in touch with this guy and said, if Ed is your grandfather, then we have to be related because his brother Harry is my grandfather. And that's where it went.
as a consequence, we are not only husband and wife, we are second cousins.
We're legal.
Susan failed to mention that after Susan sent me an email in this regard, that she had seen the picture and figured out this relationship. And I responded within, 6 months to a year or something like that. But it wasn't too many years after that my wife of 51 years, Jean, passed away. And I started coming back from Michigan to high school class events here. And at one of those events, I thought, gee, this second cousin of mine, maybe she'd like to go out to lunch together. And turned out that she did. And I guess I should say that's sort of the rest of the story, how genealogy and history in Campbell County brought us together.
Yes.
Okay, you want me to start? Yeah, all right. But I'm the youngest. I know, yeah, 22 minutes.
Take the mic and put it on your hand.
All right, how's that? I usually don't need one. But anyway, I'm Sharon Bamer, was my maiden name, Shoemaker. And we grew up in Bellevue, and we've always been in Campbell County. This is my twin sister, Sheila Bamer Everson now. And went to Bellevue High School. What?
We're the first.
Oh, we're the first twins born at St. Luke. And then we went back there to work as nurses too. Yeah. But my mother was a nurse from Spears Hospital. She has things out at the Historical Society that we've taken out. And then my other sister, Diana, was a nurse also. The four of us were nurses. And then I went back after a while and got my real estate license, so I was a realtor too for years in greater northern Kentucky area. But we were also born on our sister's second birthday, so we're all three the same day, the day after Christmas, which was horrible. Take it. Yeah, but I always loved history. My father was a realtor, but also a school teacher, and he would teach us everywhere we went. But he also took us to a lot of places of history over the years. I mean, we traveled, but we didn't even have to stop and read the marker on the side of the road, what that was, that, was historical. So I went on to, I did win an award in junior year of high school at Bellevue too, for history. But that was our start. After we retired, we thought we'd try to go out and find the Historical Society and maybe help out here and there. And we ended up doing that for our mother who passed away 2 years ago, and she was a nurse, but she was a cadet nurse, Spears graduate in World War II. And so she had a lot of items that we gave to the Historical Society for her years in nursing and all too. You want to add some things? Sure.
Now, you're not gonna get away without telling that story you told us today
What
about
story
your
was that?
uncle
About
on
which
the farm.
Oh, yeah.
Some rock farm.
Okay, Ann Hildred and Uncle Warren were Gibsons. So they were part of Gibson Lane here in Wilder. And as children, we spent at least one time a week there. In the summertime, we also went by ourselves. We were twins. They took us by ourselves for a week, and we learned all about the farm life. So he also did some slaughtering of animals, mostly cows and pigs. So that's how we learned a little bit about
probably anatomy and all kinds of different things. But anyway, he would call us over and he would say, come here, hold your hand out, and we would, and he would drop an eyeball or a tongue or a piece of an intestine or, some brain matter in our hands. So we were hands-on.
But what do you do with the intestines?
He would always trick us with the intestines, so he would look at us, and then all of a sudden he'd prick the intestines, and it would let out this ungodly, horrible smell. So we would take off down the road. But we had a lot of fun memories of growing up. We were from Bellevue, but being on the farm here in Wilder. I actually live right next to the farm. Right now, I live at 98 Fremont. And it brings back a lot of good memories. We have a lot of wildlife in our yard. We have deer, and we have turkey, and we have birds, all different kinds of birds in our yard. Even Baltimore Orioles we have, which is unusual for this area, I think. But we joined the society in 2-3 years ago, I guess, yeah. And of course, in memory of our mom, we're doing the Spears work, which is long and tedious, but we have great memories of Mom doing that every week. So that's about it for me.
You should mention that you were working at the hospital when the Beverly Hills
Oh,
Suffolk
yeah,
Club
we
went
were
down.
both at, we both worked at St. Luke Hospital, started in 1974. And of course, in May of '77, when we had the fire occur, I had been at work that day, and I was playing cards or something with some friends, and someone heard on the radio that they were calling in all the nurses, doctors, and so on. Please call the hospital, so we did. And we joined them to take care of these people that came in triage. And then we also had a number of patients that were with us for weeks or sometimes months due to their injuries and their smoke inhalation. We were on the 6th floor, which had been closed, so we opened up the floor, and that night, and we witnessed the flames from the 6th floor window. It just seemed like very picturesque. So I ran around and closed all the blinds because our patients were very, agitated to begin with, so didn't want, them to be further. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Time's up.
That's a good point.
It's a regular comedy team with these two, all the time. But we love them, and they are doing so much work on the Spears Hospital books. We're transcribing all of the admission and discharge books from Spears Hospital, and that's what the Sheila and Sharon are working on, along with Ken and Janet Moore. And I think Ken told me, I think they have 2 books done now, and I don't know how far you guys are, but they're making a lot of progress. So, Mike, you got notes with you there. You want to talk a little bit about yourself?
Well, I can. I might be a little bit off base. I may have misunderstood what you were after.
Okay.
So I kind of wrote a history on myself.
That's right.
Stop me if you want.
Okay.
That's what we were after.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I am Mike Gunsweiler, and I'm a resident of Camp Springs. I've been there all my life so far. I graduated from Bishop Brossard High School, and then on to NKU, graduated there with a fine arts degree. And I went back to Bishop Brossard High School and taught art there. After I left Bishop Brossard, I went to the Cincinnati Art Museum and worked there. And by coincidence, your speaker, Kristen Spangenberg, who was here a few months ago, she and I worked together in the print department at the Art Museum. And I was director of the Ensweiler Building Institute, which was part of, or is part of, the Home Builders Association of Northern Kentucky, which is now known as the Building Industry Association. So I was there for 26 years running the apprenticeship trades training programs. I also was an employee at the Messenger newspaper for the Diocese of Covington. Then, 7 years ago, I went back to Bishop Brossard High School and opened an art gallery there. So we have been open for about 7 years now, and we have 5 shows per year. 2 or 3 of them are spoken for. For example, the senior art student show, elementary school art show, Christmas nativity display, but I'm allowed to put on 2 shows per year of artists that I invite in. So if you get a chance, please stop in. It's been a lot of fun doing it. I am very active with St. Joseph Parish in Camp Springs. As a matter of fact, I am at the Camp Springs pre-K program every day. We've been in existence for 10 years now. We started with 6 students, ages 3 and 4, and we're now up to 62. So it's a fun experience. You never know what a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old will say. I started out being a lot more active in the classroom, but then as we got our instructors on board and some great teachers, subs, I've weaned away from being in the classroom, so now my major duty is being greeter in the morning at the doors. And I love it. I'm there for an hour and a half per day, and that's it. Myself and Don Wiedemann, Don passed away a number of years ago, we organized the Camp Springs Herbst Autumn Tour. That was in operation for 10 years. We had anywhere from 18 to 27 stops in Camp Springs. A majority of them were stone homes, and I did live in one during those 10 years, and our house was one of them that was open on the tour. The show kind of ran its cycle, so we said enough is enough. It may be revived sometime. I don't know about that. But I know you're talking about interviews during oral history, etc. I remember being interviewed by Marvin Record back in the day, and that went really well. Then also, I have been writing articles that it's titled Growing Up in Camp Springs. I've been doing that for maybe 20 years. I've done 30-some articles on my memories of growing up in Camp Springs. Not necessarily historical, but just good, fun events. And that is published quarterly in the Camp Springs newsletter. So if you want to check out any of those articles, it's on www.campsprings.com, the community website. I think that's all.
That's it?
Thank you.
Well, Thanks, Mike.
Okay.
Those articles are fantastic, by the way, that he writes. Joe, you want to talk about these at all?
I can.
Okay.
Let's go.
No, I want you to go first.
Hello, my name's Joe Manning, if you haven't already met me. Anyway, born in Newport, Kentucky. Well, born in Covington. I beat St. Luke's opening, even though I was raised on Grand Avenue right below where the overpasses are at now. But, and I don't know when St. Luke's opened, a couple weeks later, probably after I was born. I was born June the 12th, 53, so. But anyway, I'm still working part-time, even though I'm 70. I enjoy working. It's a family business that my father started 70-something years ago. And there's still 4 of us sons in the business, plus we got some grandkids in the business also. I'm married to Linda, my wife. I'm 50-plus years. So she's going to go to heaven. Quite sure about me. she's still not trainable.
That's why he hasn't retired, he wants to get away from me.
But anyway, I got some hobbies. One is hiking in the woods and picking up stuff along the way, bricks and bottles and so on and so forth. So I brought one Tupperware thing up. I got a lot of them in my shed and stuff. But I don't have a whole lot of hobbies. In fact, my doctor told me I better not retire until I get more. So, but we got 5 children, and they've all made their way and made us proud. So I think that's pretty well, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're welcome to look at bottles. I was gonna pass them around, but, you know, there's some railroad line insulators, plus some bricks.
Where did you get the blue seltzer bottles?
No, I found them actually in the sub-basement of a house, or it was an apartment building. And I happened to be over there, and I kept wondering why there was a big steel plate out in the garage. And so I went ahead and got a helper to help me get the thing over it. We actually had to put an extension ladder down through it to get to the bottom of the thing, because it was like 15 to 20 feet deeper down in there. That's where I found the seltzer bottles at, and the telephone. So,
And telephone too?
yeah, they're the same place, yeah. And apparently, whoever lived there, at one time, they built a man-made ladder, and apparently the thing broke and fell down in there, so I guess that was the last time somebody was there, so. And that's it. All right, thank you.
Very good. Take a look. Some of these are pretty incredible that you've got. Take a look. Kathy. You're hiding back there behind that.
Don't say my name.
Hello. My name is Kathy Elster. I was born in 1952, and I was born in Newport. I was born in St. Elizabeth, but born to a family of 6 other siblings. I was the youngest, and I can tell you it was miserable. I got beat up a lot. But let's see, I lived in Newport on Hamlin Street for 2 years. We moved to Bellevue. It seems like all the Bellevue people are here. And my father got a job there at Sacred Heart as a maintenance man, and we were there, he was there, I should say, probably maybe 6 years or so, and then he went to Hagedorn's Bakery in Newport. And before that, he was at Rust Restaurant on Mama Street. So he was a real good cook and a baker. But after that, I went to Sacred Heart. Then I went to Our Lady of Providence. And I met my husband when I was 16 on a double date. He wasn't the date. It was his friend. I think we met at Newport Catholic Dance, and then all of a sudden, he started bugging me to go out. And he bugged me for 2 years. So I finally decided I'd go out with him. My mother says, "Why don't you go out with that nice Glen Elster?" Well, I guess it's okay with her. So we went together for 2 years. We were engaged for 2 years. Then after 2 years of marriage, we had our first child. Then 2 more years, we had our second child, April and Tony. And I got interested in genealogy in 1980, and I've been doing it ever since. I've got 16,000 people in my family tree. And I'm related to Enswallers too. My grandmother was from Camp Springs, Franson. But what was the other thing? Oh, I did work. I stayed at home. I was a stay-at-home mom for 22 years, and I went back to work, and that wasn't easy. I had worked before that, but when you're home all the time, and then that changes, it was a drastic change for me. But I made it. I worked at an insurance company for 2 years that I hated, and then I got a job at Northern Kentucky Technical College, which is Gateway now. And I worked there for 20 years in the registrar's office. And, but now I'm retired and I love it. Love it. I think that's it.
Okay. Any other takers?
Girl, Mary.
You're looking at me.
I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah, you do.
Then we want to hear.
Stop me because I'm talking.
Thanks.
That's okay.
In the beginning, a famous Danish philosopher of the 19th century, Søren Kierkegaard, says, life can only be understood backwards, but it must be lived forward. And so when I saw the topic, I thought, well, I'm going to talk about my life and go backwards. And so that's what I did. I grew up on Johns Hill, which is up on the hill there, and grew up near Highland Heights, the city of Highland Heights on Johns Hill. And someday I'll be interred at the cemetery, St. Johns Hill Cemetery in Wilder, up on Johns Hill, along with my parents and grandparents and great-grandparents who were the immigrants from Germany. So did I say my name was Calvin Schulteis? I have a memory problem. I'm 80 years old now, so please forgive me.
We all get busy.
I graduated from Dale Elementary School in Highland Heights, and I went to Campbell County High School, and I was an above average student, not a great student at either place. And I was surprised in high school, and I was not an athlete, crummy at everything. And somehow, I was, not real popular, but I was okay. And I was selected as male most likely to succeed. And I thought, wow. Why did they do that? What do they know about me? And so, that was in high school. And during that, my upper grade school years, 7th and 8th, and in high school, I worked on the Schweitzer's farm. And you may have bought Christmas trees up there. They had 2 large barns, and now it's got a whole lot of stores on it, and restaurants and things like that. And so one day I was with my Uncle Bill, and we were pulling turnips, bunch turnips, these big turnips, and a big thunderstorm came up, and I thought, I always liked it when it was going to rain because it was time to go home then. And so he said, Calvin, load up. And so loaded up and got the turnips on there, and I sat on the back deck there. Can't think of the name of it right now, but the deck, and we took off on his truck, and we hit a culvert, and I bounced off, and I fell from the turnip truck. What is going to become of me? I just fell off of a turnip truck. And so that was towards the time that I graduated from high school, but most likely to succeed, fell off of a turnip truck. And then I was working with my father, who was a tile setter, Paul Schulteis, and he built houses he created Clearview Drive on Johns Hill and built those houses. And I was helping him one day, and I made a major boo-boo. And I spilled the paint, and it was dripping through the subfloor on top of him. And he came up, and he said, Calvin, just like Jesus to Martha. He said, Calvin, I really think you need to go to college. And so I told him he evidently had talked to my mother, and she said, yes, he told me. And so I said, I think I'm going to go to Northern Kentucky, UK had a northern center up here at the time. I said I was going to go over there. And my mom said, we think it's best if you would go away to college. So, with all of that, I applied to UK, and I decided to go, and I was lousy at farming. I liked the lunch, and I liked going home after the whole day. And I was bad at construction, and so, as my father reminded me, and so I decided to go into pre-pharmacy and then into pharmacy. And I did that. I was the first one to go to college, a 4-year college, and I did that because I wanted to be in air conditioning, I wanted nice short hours, and I wanted a soda fountain. And so that's why I went into that. But then my grades weren't too good at UK, and they said, you're not going to make it into pharmacy school. So I switched over to microbiology. Well, I happened to join the ATO social fraternity at the time, and I partied too much, and my grades went down. And I was talking with my advisor, Dr. Shurego, and I probably have talked too long already.
Keep talking.
Anyway, Dr. Shurego, he was advising me for the next semester. He was chair of the microbiology department. He looked at me and he said, Schultes, you seem to be addicted to C's. Well, so I was about 18, 19 years old at the time, and it angered me at first, but then I thought, you know, you've got to grow up, Calvin. You've got to change your ways. So I partied less, studied more, grades went up, but not good enough to get into graduate school. I had to get into graduate school when I graduated from UK in microbiology. So I went a year as a special student, just taking courses, and I took hard courses to bring my grades up, and I finally got into graduate school. And I studied for my PhD in the botanical sciences and then in plant pathology, diseases of plants. And I got my PhD in 1971. So I was there from 1961 to 1971, special student in between, and I was blessed. I was awarded a postdoc at the University of California at Berkeley. So I went out to Berkeley, and you know, I was sort of a shy guy, and I needed to really find myself besides doing the research, doing my projects out there. And so I went to a Jungian therapist, and I think I began, I would say you have to love yourself in order to move through this life. And so I began to like myself, to accept myself as I was. So in 1975, I left Berkeley and went to Gainesville, Florida, to the Florida Department of Agriculture as a plant pathologist, and worked there for from 76 to 87. I became the chief plant pathologist. I did disease diagnosis, learned a lot during that time. And then a position came open at Clemson University. They essentially have regulatory powers like a Department of Agriculture, and I was in charge of the plant sciences there. And I worked in that position for several years. Then I switched over to the academic side, became a school director, and eventually a dean of the College of Agriculture, Forestry, and Life Sciences there at Clemson University. And I was a full professor of plant pathology and microbiology, and I had a very good experience there. I would say of all of the places I've been in these University of Florida, Clemson University, University of Kentucky, I'm so proud of my parents and my family. They were as intelligent as any of the people that I've met at those places, and they just didn't have the same opportunities that I did. And I'm so thankful for them, and I would also say that during that time, from my growing up, I became an introvert into an extrovert. I don't mind speaking in front of people, and I just feel very comfortable doing that. And the other thing about me is I like to laugh and I like to cut up, and I think laughter is good medicine. And so I have a lot of fun. I got married in Gainesville, Florida. Been married for 45 years. Got married on my 35th birthday, and I just turned 80. So we've had 45 years together, and it's been a good life. We never had any children. We had horses in the Clemson area, and we had cats, and we gave the horses away, brought one cat with us, and we have an African gray parrot, and he talks a lot. The latest thing that he said, and I won't say much more, is, and I've taught him to say, "Calvin, you're a genius." And I had to do that because he was calling me, "Calvin, you're a fat man, Calvin, you're a stink," and things like that. And he does have one comment about genealogy, and I don't know whether I should say it because it's not a pretty word that he said, but I think I'll say it. Anyway, one morning when we were living in the Clemson area, this was about 2 years ago, Linda said to me, "Calvin, what are you going to do today?" And I said, "I'm going to do genealogy." And she said, "Oh, crap." And Jacob says, "Shit." How did that bird make that connection? Anyway, nice meeting you all. Okay, please consider the sign-up sheets that I did, and if you signed up for that, get them back to me, and we'll get in touch, and we'll get something working on that. Other than that, we will close for this evening, and I thank you all.